guys, and welcome to Cooking with Fat Julie French Chef Edition, where I attempt to make recipes out of one of my French chef textbooks. Today I'm going to try to show you how to make the pastry cups for a vol au vent. Since I didn't have enough to do already, I made my own puff pastry. Of course you can just buy a frozen one. But I'm going to try making it on my own, which I haven't done before. And as you can see, I'm just covering it all in flour. And I have flour underneath. It has been in the fridge for an hour so that it's nice and hard. So you're going to keep yours as hard as possible while you're doing this. And with a circle cookie cutter, I'm just going to cut out some circles like that. Now the trick here is that you're going to have two levels. So you're going to have, your first level is the one that I just cut out. And then the second one, which I'm doing right now, we're actually going to cut with a smaller circle cutter. I'm going to try and get the middle here. And you want to keep both of those pieces. This is important. Now don't worry if your circles aren't exactly perfect or if it bakes a little bit lopsided, because that's going to give a charm to whatever it is that you're making. Now what I want to do is seal these two pieces together using an egg wash. And then later this will be the lid. So let me just make an egg wash. I'm going to use a whole egg. Usually the egg white is what's going to give you the shine. The egg yolk is what's going to give you that golden color. And if you use both, well then you get both. I have beat up an entire egg in a small bowl. And I'm going to use my pastry brush to put an egg wash first on top of the bottom part of the bowl that I'm making. There we go. And that's going to help the other piece stick to it. And it's also going to give it a shiny golden color. There we go. So here I'm going to add on the tops of my bowls. And I'm not going to push them down because then my puff pastry just isn't going to puff up the way I want it to. So don't seal it like you would a pie. Just place it on top of there as gently as you can. And then we're going to give the top of this one a little bit of egg wash as well to give it that nice golden and shiny color. And of course the lids. At this point, I'm going to chill mine in the fridge, probably for half an hour to an hour, just to make sure they get nice and hard so that they keep their shape when I bake them in the oven. And I will show you what those look like when I take them out of the oven. I have a little bit extra puff pastry left over, so I'm going to try something that I saw. I'm not sure if it's going to work because they use a different type of pastry for this, and I'm also a little bit concerned that I may have overworked it by rolling it out again, because you can overwork puff pastry. But let's see what happens. So basically I'm going to take some tin foil and I'm going to make it into, well, as much of a square as I can, and then I'm going to take my square and try to, if I can, roll it into a cone shape. There we go. I'm just going to take what's left over here and kind of flip that inside to hopefully hold that together a little bit. I've got my pastry, and I'm going to roll that, making sure to seal the end. I'm going to roll my pastry around my cone. And I don't want to have any little open pieces because I'm going to fill this cone. So it needs to be totally sealed. Alright, so here's my pastry cone. I'm gonna trying to pinch the end of it closed, which doesn't really want to. And then I'm going to try to pinch this end down as well to keep that closed. And I'm going to do the other one the same way and then show you the next step. My 2 cones are done, and I cut off the excess aluminum foil. I'm just going to use the leftover egg wash that I have just to give them a little brush so that again they will be shiny and nice and golden. And then after that, because I'm going to use these for dessert and fill them with custard, I'm just going to sprinkle on a little bit of sugar just with my hand. There we go. And as soon as my little cups are done in the oven, I will throw these in the oven. Here are my little pastry cups right out of the oven. You can see that I've got 4 little bowls and 4 lids. I'm going to let those cool down for quite a bit, at least an hour. And then I'm going to just pluck off the top layer of pastry that's in the middle there to make my bowl a little bit deeper so that I can fill it up. And here are my beautiful cones right out of the oven. I'm going to let them cool off, and then I'm going to stuff them with my custard once it's cold. I let my little bowls cool off, and then I'm just going to take a knife and very gently cut off the top layer of puff pastry from my bowls. And that's going to allow me to fill it up a little bit more with my meat mixture. You want to be careful not to pull off the bottom of your bowl for obvious reasons, but I'm going to get that as even as possible. And that's it. Mine are going to be used for dinner, but you can use these for desserts or whatever you like. This is what your bowl looks like, and you're going to fill it up with your ingredients and pop the lid on just like that. It will just sit there on top of your, in my case, my meat mixture, or maybe some strawberries and cream, some custard, whatever you like. And there is my finished vol au vent. Let me know in the comments how yours turns out, and bon appétit!